Ice created twin headaches over the weekend. In the Boston area, a teen braved icy water in a canoe and almost fell in as he worked to save a dog who had fallen through the thin ice. And in Wilmington, Illinois, ice chunks jammed waterways, flooding them. In both cases, the same thing helped cause the icy threats: warmer temperatures after December's earlier wintry blasts. Definitely has warmed up a bit since then. In fact, yesterday we saw a whole bunch of records on the East Coast.
Yeah, we had about 50 records on Saturday. We had about 25 records yesterday. And today there could be a couple of records, maybe in the southeast. But, you know, certainly for folks in New York City, 65 degrees yesterday at LaGuardia, 62 at JFK. It was 65 in Central Park. You were loving it. We had some warm temperatures there in D.C. as well. So everyone along the eastern seaboard enjoying some above average temperatures. The question is, as we head into today, are there going to be a lot of other people joining in this, and how many folks saw records yesterday? Well, here's Jeff with more.
All right, we had records up and down the East Coast. Atlanta, no, you stayed a little bit cloudy and it rained, so that kept your temperature down a few notches. But your neighbors just to the south in Macon were a balmy 76. Same in Norfolk, Virginia. Wow, what a great day to be out in the Outer Banks or maybe up there in Virginia Beach. Very, very mild conditions. And if you were watching any of the NFL games, it was abnormally mild. In fact, folks were in shirt sleeves there watching the Jets game against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins probably felt quite at home playing up there. Wasn't quite as cold as they expected. As far as temperatures go, today it's going to be above average in many parts of the country, from the Central Plains into the southeast. And I think we'll hold on to that for Tuesday. But some colder air is coming into the picture, and it looks like we'll be below average. That's what the blue means on this map. By New Year's Day, the Northeast should have a pretty chilly day. That'll extend even into the Mid-Atlantic. Doesn't last long, though. Here comes another shot of colder air moving across the country by Saturday and on into Sunday for the Northeast. That's how they'll move, basically across the far northern tier of the country. As each one of these fast-moving Clipper-type systems moves through, it'll chill us down there. Stays pretty mild, though, for the most part, over the deep south, either near or slightly above average. And we have a temperature trend here to show you. For instance, Cleveland, Ohio. Temperatures today fairly mild in the 40s, but it will be dropping down into highs only in the 20s as one of our Clippers goes by the middle of the week, and starting off 2009 on a very cold note around the Cleveland area. So let's talk travel right now. Any big problems out there? Definitely not wintry weather, Jen.
No, none yet really today. We don't have any huge issues. There's none really on the docket either. We have a little bit of wind to deal with in the northeast, and we do have some fog this morning in the south. Let's show you what's going on right now as we hit the runways this morning. It's Monday morning, and it's still a holiday. I know folks are still traveling for the holiday. We're not looking at any problems yet at LaGuardia, Boston, or Atlanta. Keeping an eye on those low clouds around Atlanta this morning, and keeping watch on the wind in the northeast. Both LaGuardia and Newark. Those are the two airports. I think we could see some potential delays out there today because of the winds. It's a northwest wind. That's a tough wind direction, and it will be a bit gusty still this morning. Around the Chicago area, it is going to be a bit breezy today. Not as windy as we saw over the weekend, but now that we have our new runway, Chicago, I don't think we'll have a ton of issues. That's great news after a pretty tough weekend again. Seattle, rain, wind, but no snow. So hopefully today we don't have as many flights delayed as we have had over the past week with all that snowfall. Now, around the D.C. area right now, we're starting off at 41 in D.C. there at Reagan National, 39 degrees at Dulles. We're 37 at Andrews and 38 in Baltimore. We're going to head up into the 50s today. Not as warm as yesterday, but it's still going to be pretty mild, and temperatures still running above average. So behind this front and along the front, we do still have some rain right here across the Mid-Atlantic. Right along the front in Richmond, we've got showers in the Poway Parkway this morning. A couple of showers in 64 heading over towards the Norfolk area and the Newport News and Hampton Roads region. Heading further south on 95, you're going to run into some rain in North Carolina, and that is where it has been steadier this morning. 95 is pretty much wet from the start of North Carolina all the way down until you hit South Carolina. And here on Interstate 40 around the Raleigh area, we do have some showers. There is going to be some breaks, and we actually are going to clear out in the next couple of hours here. Let's head south to Florida. This is where we don't have any rain, but it is pretty murky out here this morning. We do have some dense fog advisories, and everywhere painted in yellow. If you are traveling here this morning, get ready for some potential foggy rides. The Beeline Expressway, you're pretty socked in this morning as you head east out of Orlando. Jeff?
All right, thanks, Jen. Well, it just depends on where you are latitude-wise as to what kind of a temperature swing you're going to get for the rest of the week. Case in point, let's take you to St. Louis, Missouri. Now here, as these fronts go by, as each of these Clippers moves by to the north, it'll drag a front through. You can see how the first front drops the temperature from the 50s into the 30s by Wednesday, and then another one goes by Friday and drops things down then. As we head farther south, though, it will probably be much less of an issue.
All right, well, let's go out to lunch and ring in some snow here. Traverse City, Michigan, Watertown, New York, and Duluth, Minnesota.
All right, looks okay, though. St. Louis, Memphis, and Dallas, particularly for this time of the year. Bowl season marches on here as we get closer and closer to crowning a new national champion. Well, the Wolfpack will be playing the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers here at Birmingham, Alabama, Legion Field. And you know, for the PapaJohns.com Bowl, the weather couldn't be better, I would say, for this time of the year. Almost 60 degrees with a good deal of sunshine today, and it's currently in the 40s, but even for tailgaters, I think this morning, if you're doing any tailgating there, should be really, really nice. Not so nice temperature-wise as we head into Wednesday morning. We're rounding out the year on a cold note, as you would expect, across the northern tier of the country. And as this latest clipper will move on by, it'll drag some of that cold air south and east. And so all those record highs we've been talking about in the east, they'll be a memory. Right now, let's get the rest of the 7-day forecast. Here's Jen.
All right, well, let's take a look at what's going on here. We'll start on your Tuesday. So the trend this week is fast-moving weather systems, and they all pretty much move across the northern part of the country. I mean, look at the national map. You can see here on Tuesday, really, we have only the northern part of the country painted in with any kind of weather. One little system moving through the northeast, that's actually starting through tonight. It'll scoot on through tomorrow, dropping a couple of snow showers from Buffalo to Burlington, maybe into the Boston area through the overnight, possible as well. Then the next one's going to be moving through the Midwest, and this one is going to allow some colder air to move in. Temperatures are going to be topping out only in the single digits across parts of Minnesota and into Wisconsin. So more snow back in here. We're going to find more snow back into Michigan as well. And by Wednesday, this next system gets into the northeast too. And we're going to find some snow for us again into parts of New England, maybe around Manchester, possible around Boston, although we might be mixing with rain. We'll have to watch closely New York City. Of course, Wednesday is New Year's Eve, so we're getting ready in Times Square. Could there be any snowflakes flying? It's possible, but I think overall the rain, the wind is what you're going to notice here. And temperatures cooling down. In fact, by Thursday, your temperatures might actually be warmer in the morning than they are in the afternoon. And that's tough news for anyone planning to head out to the Mummers Parade. We are going to be looking for our temperatures here dropping throughout the day. So bring some layers. You might need to add them on throughout the day if you're heading there in Philadelphia. Pretty chilly, sunny and cold all the way down, even into the southeast. Your temperatures dropping. Big changes here finally by Thursday, because this next system, the one coming in on Friday, is going to be an interesting one. This one is going to have a little more moisture to work with, a little more cold air to work with. So we will find the chance for some snow across the northern part here, say from Albany, New York, back over towards the Chicago area. Temperatures are going to be at the freezing point at least, or even lower. And then in the south, temperatures are going to be in the 40s and 50s, and it's going to be a chilly rain for us across the southeast. All right, so Friday we're watching the West Coast as well for the next big one to continue to work on southward. If you're heading in town to the Rose Bowl there on Thursday, good weather Thursday, pretty good weather Friday. By Saturday and Sunday, you're going to see your clouds thickening, and that's when the rain is going to move in. Meanwhile, across the east, we clear out for the weekend across a good chunk of the northeast or southeast. There is going to be a couple of showers left up here into the northeast. Jeff?
All right, well, if skiing is in your end-of-the-year itinerary, well, you might want to plan on some slush out there. At least in the short term, all this warm air has kind of made things a little slushy at some of the slopes. We'll talk about whether that'll improve. And hold on to that briefcase, hold on to your hat, and whatever else you can, because it's going to get windy again in the northeast. We'll tell you when and where. And the new year will probably have a new weather pattern to talk about. We'll talk about that after this. In November, actually, the eastern ski resorts, for the most part, have had a pretty good season, but, well, lately it's been a little warm.
Now, even down to the southeast, you were skiing early in the season. Now things are changing. Oh, it's raining everywhere today. We've had rain through the overnight across the Appalachians. That's all skirted east. But today it's going to be sunny, and temperatures are going to reach the upper 50s around Gatlinburg, around Appalachian Ski Mountain there in North Carolina, even Snowshoe. We're probably going to be in the 40s today.
All right, so let's check a few resorts. These are right next to each other, Sugar and Beach Mountains. And it looks like, well, even with the wind chill, we might not get below 32. A little breezy out there, and it's going to be a little slushy, I think.
Yeah, frozen granular or wet granular. Those are the conditions right now. Only 30% open at Beach Mountain. Yeah, but they usually recover pretty quickly. So if we get cold enough, which we might by the time we head into Wednesday, and then especially by Friday, I think temperatures will really be cold enough to make some new snow and get stuff ready for the weekend.
Absolutely. They'll be spraying the snow all over the slopes there. So by this weekend, as Jen mentioned, things will be getting a lot better. Well, stay with us here on the Weather Channel. We have some rain in the southeast we're going to be talking about, particularly there in North Carolina.